My story began like many others. I was named Sarah. For years, the numbers on the bathroom scale dictated my mood. They were often a source of quiet despair. I felt heavy, not just in body, but in spirit too. Simple tasks like climbing a flight of stairs left me breathless. My energy levels were consistently low, often crashing in the afternoon. I relied on sugary snacks and coffee to get through the day. This was not living, it was merely existing. I knew deep down that something fundamental had to change. The reflection in the mirror no longer matched the vibrant person I wanted to be. This realization was a slow burn, then a sudden spark. My initial health goals were not just about shedding pounds. Losing weight was certainly a part of it, a visible marker of progress, but more than that, I craved a feeling of vitality. I wanted to wake up feeling refreshed, not groggy. I yearned for sustained energy throughout the day, without the artificial highs and lows. I was tired of the cycle of restrictive fad diets. They always promised quick results, but delivered only temporary changes and eventual disappointment. This time, I wanted something different. I aimed for a lasting transformation, a new relationship with food and with my own body, built on understanding and respect. The true catalyst for change arrived during a routine doctor's visit. The doctor was kind but direct. My blood pressure was too high. My cholesterol levels were a concern. He spoke about the long-term risks associated with my current weight and lifestyle. His words painted a stark picture of a future I did not want. Suddenly, the abstract worries became concrete threats. It was a sobering moment, a true wake-up call. I felt a wave of fear, but beneath it, a stronger current of determination began to flow. It was no longer enough to simply wish for better health. I had to actively pursue it. The decision to truly act was made that very week. I acknowledged that denial and procrastination were no longer options. This journey would demand effort, patience, and a willingness to learn. It would not be a quick fix. I understood that real change takes time. My first step was small but significant. I cleared out my pantry of ultra-processed snacks and sugary drinks. I started researching what it truly meant to eat healthily. This wasn't about punishment or deprivation. It was about choosing to nourish my body. It was about taking responsibility for my well-being, one small, conscious decision at a time. The first major shift was in my kitchen and in my mind. I turned away from brightly packaged, factory-made food products. These items, often full of unpronounceable ingredients, were no longer welcome. Instead, I began to embrace whole, identifiable foods, real food that our great-grandparents would recognize, fresh vegetables, vibrant fruits, lean meats, and simple grains became the staples. I started to cook more. The simple act of preparing my own meals felt empowering. I discovered the true flavors of ingredients, unmasked by artificial additives. My kitchen transformed from a place of quick assembly to a place of creation and nourishment. My new meal plan focused heavily on nutrient-rich foods. Vegetables in all their colors and varieties took center stage on my plate. I aimed to fill half my plate with them at every meal. Fruits became my go-to for sweetness. Lean proteins, such as grilled chicken, fish, and legumes like lentils and chickpeas, provided satiety and supported muscle health. I incorporated healthy fats from sources like avocados, nuts, seeds, and olive oil. These fats were essential for hormone production and overall well-being. The emphasis was always on quality and density of nutrients rather than just counting calories without context. It was about feeding my body what it truly needed to thrive. My approach to grains changed significantly. I did not eliminate them entirely, as some diets suggest. Instead, I drastically reduced my intake of refined grains. White bread, pasta, and sugary cereals were mostly replaced. When I did eat grains, I chose whole, unprocessed versions like quinoa, brown rice, or oats, and kept the portions modest. Often I found that a meal was perfectly satisfying without any grains at all, especially if it was rich in vegetables and protein. The focus shifted from grains as the bulk of the meal to grains as a small accompaniment, if used at all. This helped to lower the overall calorie density while increasing the nutrient intake. Breakfast often consisted of 2 eggs cooked with a generous handful of spinach and a quarter of an avocado. This provided protein and healthy fats to start the day. For lunch, I would often prepare a large, colorful salad. This salad might include mixed greens, cucumber, tomatoes, bell peppers, and a source of lean protein like grilled chicken breast or a portion of chickpeas. Dinner could be baked salmon served with a large helping of roasted broccoli and perhaps a small scoop of quinoa. For snacks, I turned to a piece of fruit, a small handful of almonds, or some Greek yogurt. These meals were simple, delicious, and kept me feeling full and energized. The act of cooking itself became a form of mindful practice for me. I started to pay closer attention to the entire process. I focused on the ingredients, their textures, their colors, their smells, washing vegetables, chopping them carefully, hearing them sizzle in the pan. These small actions became moments of presence. I slowed down the preparation, moving away from the rushed, thoughtless cooking of my past. This new approach fostered a deeper connection to the food I was about to eat. It transformed cooking from a chore into a meditative and enjoyable ritual. This connection made the food taste better and feel more satisfying. I also adopted mindful cooking techniques. Simplicity became my guide. I favored methods like steaming, roasting, grilling, and sautéing with minimal oil. These techniques helped to preserve the natural flavors and nutrients of the food. I learned that fresh ingredients, when cooked simply, often taste best without heavy sauces or excessive seasonings. A squeeze of lemon, a sprinkle of herbs, or a dash of good quality olive oil was often all that was needed. This shift not only made my meals healthier, but also allowed the inherent goodness of the whole foods to shine through. It was a revelation to discover how delicious simple food could be. Portion control became another cornerstone of my new eating habits. This was not about extreme restriction, but about awareness. I started using slightly smaller plates and bowls. This simple visual cue helped me serve myself more appropriate amounts of food. More importantly, I began to tune into my body's natural signals of hunger and fullness. I learned to eat when I was genuinely hungry and to stop when I felt satisfied, not stuffed. This required practice and patience. It meant slowing down my eating pace, putting my fork down between bites, and truly savoring each mouthful. Understanding that not too much was just as important as eat food was a crucial lesson. Almost immediately, I noticed improvements in my digestion. The constant bloating and discomfort that had plagued me for years began to subside. My digestive system seemed to welcome the change to cleaner, less processed foods. Bowel movements became more regular and comfortable. It felt as if my body was breathing a sigh of relief, finally receiving the kind of fuel it was designed to process efficiently. This was one of the first tangible rewards of my efforts. It was a powerful motivator, reinforcing the idea that I was on the right path. My body was starting to heal itself from the inside out. The positive changes extended far beyond my digestion and the numbers on the scale. The persistent acid reflux that had often kept me awake at night gradually disappeared. I started sleeping more soundly and waking up feeling genuinely rested. My energy levels throughout the day became more stable and consistent. The afternoon slumps became a thing of the past. Even my skin seemed clearer and brighter. These were the unexpected gains, the holistic benefits of nourishing my body properly. These improvements in my overall well-being were far more rewarding than just seeing a smaller number when I weighed myself. Tracking my progress was an important part of the journey, especially in the beginning. I kept a simple food journal for a few months. This wasn't about obsessively counting every calorie. Instead, it helped me become more aware of what I was eating and how different foods made me feel. I noted my energy levels, my mood, and any digestive changes. This practice helped me identify patterns. I learned which meals kept me satisfied longer and which foods perhaps didn't agree with me as well. It was a tool for self-discovery, helping me fine-tune my approach to eating for my own unique body. I also learned the importance of making adjustments along the way. No single plan is perfect forever. Life changes, seasons change, and our body's needs can change too. I learned to be flexible. If I knew I had a more active day planned, I might include a slightly larger portion of complex carbohydrates. I embraced seasonal produce, varying my meals based on what was fresh and available. The journey was not a rigid set of rules, but a dynamic process of listening to my body and adapting. This flexibility was key to making the changes sustainable in the long term, preventing boredom or feelings of deprivation. Ultimately, this journey taught me that healthy eating is not a temporary diet. It is a sustainable and enjoyable way of life. The principles of choosing real food, cooking mindfully, and listening to my body became ingrained habits. The transformation was holistic, positively impacting not just my physical health, but also my mental clarity and emotional well-being. My hope is that by sharing this realistic account, others might feel inspired. inspired to move away from quick fixes and towards a mindful, nourishing relationship with food. It is a path to genuine health, one thoughtful meal at a time.